afternoon, it's Pamela from Yorkshire in the north of England. I'm back to just talk a little bit about more things that I missed yesterday really. But first of all, I did get back on with my art yesterday, finished the band off, then I started working up the clusters, and I think it's looking really nice. Really enjoying doing this. I think it is what I miss about not doing all these sort of items, because amigurumi is lovely and no one can deny that you end up with something beautiful, but the process definitely has become boring for me, because the lack of different stitches, and it's just more of the same with each one. Basically, quite often follow a sort of like routine, you know, with the heads and bodies and what have you. It's become just a little bit, you know, ordinary and mundane. So I'm really enjoying going back to basics, doing things like this where you've got different stitches, you know, a lot more enjoyable. And the thing about doing the hat is, because it's a small item, you know it's going to come to an end, you know, sooner rather than later, and I don't want to be bored at the moment. I mean, I will be back on the blanket, don't fear not, I will do the blanket. Just needed a little break away from doing the same over and over again, and the run of the same, want to do that. But I just so enjoying doing this, like working the cluster stitches. It's just different from just doing the double crochets that you're always doing on amigurumis. But I can see me going on with this for a while. Like I say, I think it's a good thing for me now. Having said all that, I nearly joined a cow again this morning. I saw it advertised on Instagram. It's a wool warehouse one using Yarn Smith yarn. You've got a choice of two. You can either use the Create, which is all acrylic, or the Pebbles, which I think is cotton and acrylic mix. I think it's very like sheepies, whatever, stone washed. And it's I think it's MK Designs that they've employed to do it. She's mentioned on Wool Warehouse site. It's the first thing mentioned, and it's Spring Bloom cow. Looks really pretty. I would have done the Pebbles one. I even got it into the basket, but I thought, no, what are you doing? Because you've just got so much things you want to do at the moment. I don't want to really be starting another one, and I've worked so hard to get the bags and things. I've gone all over the place, you know, pared down, that I don't really want to order a load more just now. So I think I'm going to carry on what I'm doing, and I'll leave that one. But obviously, if you decide to pick up, the tutorials will be there. She's on YouTube. It's the lady that's designed it. So the tutorials will be there if I ever change my mind. But I did really like the look of this one. I think it's based on wildflowers. So yeah, but just not at the right time for me just now. One of the other things I meant to mention yesterday is, you know, I had my little rant about plush yarn. I'd done those 2 blankets, and I'm going to use up some more of it, and then I just suddenly thought, no, I'm finished with it now. I don't want to ever see it again. I've told Nick, don't ever let me be in a wool shop and say, don't you think this would make a good idea for such and such, you know, because I can see me doing it. And I've said, you know, you've got to say, because he's an enabler, you've got to say, no, remember how you feel about it, because and I tested him the other night. There was Yarn Smith's chenille yarn advertised in the magazine, and I said, doesn't this look nice, Nick? He said, no, it doesn't. So right answer. So I said, yeah, I was just testing you. Yeah, I've packed it up, sending it off to charity shop. Next time I go into the hospice shop, I'll drop it off. I think someone will get use it and what have you. But really, I'd be happy if they banned polyester yarn, but I don't expect that. Will it still in loads of clothing and everything? We'll never be shut of it. Yeah, as we know. But anyway, I've got rid of it from my life, and that makes me happy. One of the other things I meant to mention, there's another channel that I wanted to give a little shout out to, Lynn Penguin's Creations, and she's just started out. I think she had 50 plus subscribers last time I looked. Give her a look and give her a follow if you like what you see. Like I said, this is a community, you know, let's envelop each other in our community, and let's you know, like, so I really like that. I like being part of a big club. So the other thing as well, I've got, I keep saying the other thing, don't I bought the Crochet Now magazine. So I've obviously, I said I've unsubscribed from Kindle Unlimited because I'm disassociating myself with Amazon. I'm still an Amazon Prime member up till about May, I think, but after that I mean, I'm still ordering the odd things from Amazon, but I'm trying to now get into the habit of going to other places because I want to well, I want to give you know, other businesses a go, really, because I'm a bit cross with these that have got a monopoly, you know. Just don't want to buy into it at the moment, you know. So I've come out of the Kindle Unlimited, and so I'm only going to buy the magazine though if there's something in that I want. I'm following both Crochet Society and Crochet Now on Instagram, and if I see something that's coming up that I like, I'll go out and buy the magazine, like this one. So I'm not buying the Crochet Society one this month, so I am doing it so far. Oh, that were the adverts we're looking at, and I tested Nick on. Yeah, there's a pattern in here that I've saw advertised coming up on Crochet Now. I mean, coincidentally, now I've bought the magazine, there's other things in that, you know, I would like to see at some point in the future. But I mean, this I'm not going to do yet, but I just kind of envisage there's a time that I may want to do this. So it's Elizabeth Bennett and Mr. Darcy. And I just thought, what a nice idea to have the pattern. And obviously you could actually adapt other patterns to do this, but I do like to do it, you know, to a formula, really. I'm not a designer. So yeah, I thought I'll have that and keep that in. So I really like the look of that one. There are a few other things in it, but you know, not really in the mood to go through, really. Well, the top that went on front looked rather nice, but I don't like things with holes in. That's my problem. That one. Plus, as well, when you hold up your arm, there's on the pictures you can see, and I don't like my armpit showing. It's quite funny about it. Look there, you can just see on there, it goes quite low under the armpit. And I'm a funny person because yes, you could make it tighter, but then I don't like them tight either, so can't win. Can't win. Anyway, so there's that. So that's to keep in just in case I ever want that. And if anybody likes the clangers, I didn't. I really did not like the clangers, but if anybody liked the clangers when it was on TV, I don't know if it is still, I don't know, for children, there's a pattern for a clanger as well, so you might, I'll see if I can find it, hang on. I know it must be here somewhere because I obviously looked at it. There we go. So the clanger, so you can do it. It's actually doing some crochet as well. So that's just for anybody who's into the clangers, or was into the clangers. Then there's a free booklet, pattern booklet, which is Bella Coco. So there's quite a few in there. I'll keep that one because along with, well, there's more than one app, but I like the look of that one. So yeah, I might that might come in handy with doing these acts that I'm doing now. So that'll be a nice one to save. As you know, I've had me moments with Bella Coco because I didn't like when she went well, I think she did. She went to all where you had to pay for her content, I think. Or it went to all books and what have you, and whatever sort of membership she had some sort of membership. And I don't really approve of that, you know, because all the people who follow her have, you know, like put her where she is really, and I don't think you should turn your back on that. Having said that though, she is putting free content out again now, which is nice. I have a lot more admiration for Rebecca at Blossom Crochet, because she has stayed true to how she started. She does the tutorials, she doesn't have memberships, and she, you know, like, she regularly puts out tutorials for people to follow. So yeah, bit funny about that I am, because, you know, the old phrase, you know, like, you should be careful who you step on the way up, because, you know, like, you may need them on the way back down if it all goes to pot, you know. Don't get me wrong, happy for anybody who's got a success, you know, especially women, you know, let's support women's business, but don't forget the people who put you there. Never forget them. You know, and that's the thing that bothers me, you know. Anyway, that's another minor rant. You probably didn't want to hear that. The only other thing I've got to talk about is what we were saying yesterday. Today is Susan B. Anthony's death day, which, you know, it's not celebrating, but we're celebrating her life. So on this day, 13th of March in 1906, Susan B. Anthony, US women's suffrage leader, died at the age of 86. So she was listed in my Suffragette diary, which I'm taking for inspiration, amongst other things, for the Suffragette segment. Now, I've shown you this before. Nick bought me this in 2022, the feminist history calendar from the Radical Tea Towel Company, and I've kept it obviously because it's interesting women that's in it, and she's featured in the march obviously because this is a death day, and I thought I'll just read you a little bit from here, so I'm not boring you silly with everything that's out there on the internet. The idea of this segment is really just to, you know, put the idea out there for anybody who, you know, hasn't heard of these marvellous women before, or, you know, like, needed a reminder about these women, you know. So just really, if you're interested, you can go forward and have a look up yourself. Now, I did notice this morning on Wikipedia that she did adopt the B in her name. She was actually born Susan Anthony, and she started calling herself Susan B. Anthony, which I believe was because her namesake, her Aunt Susan, married somebody called Brownell. But according to Wikipedia, she never actually used the full Brownell, she just used the B. But in this calendar, she is down as Susan Brownell Anthony, so that would be something I'd like to clarify, whether she in fact wanted to be Susan Brownell Anthony, or it was always intended to be just the B. Anyway, that's just a little aside. So I'll just read you what it says in here, and, you know, like I say, you can go forwards and look it up if you want to do. So she deserves to be better known outside the United States. This revered figure in the American women's suffrage movement founded the New York Women's State Temperance Society in 1852. After being prevented from speaking at a conference because she was a woman. Working with her friend Elizabeth Cady Stanton, she launched a women's rights newspaper in 1868 called Revolution, as well as spearheading a huge anti-slavery petition. She was arrested and convicted in 1872 for being the first woman to vote in a presidential election, but by the end of her life had become a respected public figure still campaigning for the vote. The 19th Amendment to the US Constitution, giving women the right to vote, is also known as the Susan B. Anthony Amendment in her honour. So, you know, very interesting. Obviously did a lot in a long life. I did notice on Wikipedia that she was born a Quaker, and as we know, Quakers are known for their tolerance and fairness, and are behind a lot of the, you know, campaigns for things to be righted. So that doesn't surprise me at all that she was a Quaker. That'd obviously be the reason behind the temperance as well. So yeah, just let's just celebrate a wonderful woman who did a lot for the United States women, and let's just give her a mention and keep her name going on, you know. Anyway, that is me for now. I hope, if I don't see you tomorrow, which I may not, because I might not have a lot to show anyway. Story of my life at the moment, not a lot to show. But if I don't get back on tomorrow, have a great weekend, and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you.